So the AI thing is kind of like the artist. So normally you have an artist and then you've got the producer. Now what's happened is AI becomes the artist and the artist becomes the producer.
Woo! That's good. That's good.
You see what I'm saying?
That's good.
So
stuff.
AI is spitting out the raw material,
Right.
and then the artist is taking that and then crafting that to their own personal.
Wow.
Because when AI is soulless, it is. When you listen to an AI song, you can tell this has no soul. There's no emotion here and everything, but there are elements of it like, okay, that's a cool hook line, or that's a cool phrasing, and then you can go back in there and tweak all that to where literally it doesn't even resemble what AI kicked out. Then it becomes your art.
Right.
So I think it's a tool like anything else. You know, just like digital. I mean, there were guys forever that would not use digital recording. You know, they wanted to do it on tape. Got to be on tape. Got to be on tape. And then finally they realized, man, digital is so much better from the standpoint of creation. It's less time. You've got more tracks. You've got more opportunity for editing. And, you know, same thing with all of the auto-tuning stuff that's out there now. I mean, you can bring somebody in that can't sing a note and bam, that computer will fix it, you know.
I want to hear your take on something.
Okay.
You seem to live a rock star lifestyle.
Well.
So nowadays, with this AI, with everything becoming more efficient, people are busier than ever, right? It's like you would think that with things being more efficient that we'd have more time on our hands.
Right.
And yet, you know, I'm still late for things.
Sure.
That's probably just genetic, you know. My dad, no, just play. But why is that, do you think, that people still can't figure it out, even though it's more efficient with everything now?
Well, I think it's because I remember whenever there were literally 4 TV stations. Yeah. So you had ABC, CBS, NBC, and then usually like a private local affiliate. And in my town in Louisville, Kentucky, we had WDRB. So I had 4 channels to watch.
Right.
Always could find something. Always. Then we got cable.
So like you were never bored with 4 channels.
Yep. And the problem is it's like you get on TikTok or Instagram and you can't stay because what if the next thing is better than what I'm watching now? So you just spend all of that time. And right now I got Netflix, I got Hulu, I got Apple TV, I've got Peacock, I've got HBO, Unlimited. Showtime, all of them. Can't find a thing to watch.
Right.
I will literally sit there for hours looking and finding nothing. When I was a kid, 4 stations, could always find something to watch.
You would always be satisfied with
always. Now we live in a world of dissatisfaction. And it's one of those things where we're always looking. And that's why, you know, music now has changed from, I mean, back in the day, you put out a song like Freebird, like you're crazy. You can't have a freaking 12-minute song. Everything's got to be 3 minutes. Now, thanks to TikTok and Instagram, it's got to be 15 seconds. Yeah. I mean, you got to be able to hook them in 15 seconds. That's the attention span that we're at these days.
Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast.
Welcome, guys, to the Gulf Coast Music Podcast. Today's new wave, Cameron from the Velcro Pygmies.
Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me here, man.
I'm glad I pronounced it correctly.
Yeah, thank you.
Pygmies are Pygmies, you know.
It's a weird name, and literally when we came up with the name, that's the first question we get. Where'd the name come from?
Right.
We have nothing. It was just something stupid because when I put the band together, I never anticipated this being a career. Literally, ever. It was just, we were going to play a couple of shows. I wanted a ridiculous name that would be in the newspaper, and people were like, we got to go see who this is.
Right.
And little did I know. And it turned out cool because the word Velcro is a very 80s word.
Gotcha.
And so it kind of worked out for us. The neat story about the name is that we got sued.
Right.
Got sued by 3M. Got a cease and desist for using the word Velcro because they own it. And
Velcro became cool. You know?
I'm young. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go to prison. I'm freaking out. So we have an attorney get involved, and the attorney does some research and realizes that 3M actually holds the trademark for the textile industry. But for the entertainment business, they didn't have anything. And so, long story short, we're the only entity on earth that is legally allowed to use the word Velcro in our trade name. So, how about that? Now, and look, what we thought
For
would happen,
entertainment purposes.
we thought that, oh my God, 3M's going to partner with us, and we'll be like the 3M band.
Right.
They didn't care.
They all could
Not
Velcro.
interested. They didn't care at all.
They didn't want to Velcro the relationship.
Yeah, they did not care at all.
Yeah.
So, but it's kind of a neat story.
Yeah, the trademark game. It's just funny that it's like the concept of whoever calls it first has lived on from childhood.
Yep.
Like I call shotgun. Somehow that game still is in effect when you're 40 and somebody has a trademark that they got in January and you got yours in March.
Yep. Absolutely.
Just because you got it 2 months earlier, it's yours.
I still today get people messaging me that use Velcro like on their website or something like that, and they're like, how did you do it? How did you do it? And I tell them the story, and people still do it because it's not like, I don't think 3M is going to hire an army of attorneys, but we're literally legally allowed to use the names.
Yeah, eventually I'm going to get a cease and desist for Gulf Coast.
Yes. Well, hopefully so. That's good news.
Right.
That's good. That's good publicity.
Right. Hopefully it turns in the favor. Hopefully the tide, however that saying goes.
Well, you got a great thing going here, man.
I really appreciate it.
You really, really do. And from somebody that has been in the music business longer than you've been alive. Right. I was gigging in bars before you were born.
1991.
And yeah. And it's nice to see somebody that is putting in the effort, because even though everybody that's watching this right now, you're seeing the camera switching and stuff, we're in a room with a ton of equipment and somebody that spent a lot of time learning how to use this. And I appreciate that from the standpoint of musician and someone that represents the music community.
That really means a lot. Yesterday I was editing from 12 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. So.
It's hard work. It's hard work to put out an hour show or a 30-minute show or a 15-minute show or a 3-minute show. It takes a lot of time to do that.
That really means a lot. So yeah, 1991 to now, just talk on the music. I mean, you already broached the attention span, but is there anything else that you've noticed, or obviously, just the differences from 1991 to now?
Lots.
Yeah.
There's a lot of differences, and that has really affected our career in the last 8 to 10 years, because we are one of the few bands that has literally lived through the ebbs and flows of the music business, whether it's stylistically or through, to give you an idea. So let's back up here a little bit. When we put out our first record, okay, we only put it out on cassette because we didn't think CDs were going to take off. That gives you an idea of how far back we put this thing out, because CD technology was so brand new and so expensive, we thought it would never be adopted.
Wow.
So we only put out on cassette. Also, we were one of the first bands that had a website. Kiss had a website. We were one of the and I wrote it. I was writing the HTML and everything.
Really?
And
how'd you learn before YouTube?
Books. I had a little book on HTML1. And I created a website, and our guitar player at the time, he's like, Cam, why are you wasting so much time? Because the internet is not going to take off. Okay? And so and nobody knew. That was way back. Very few people were online. No bands were online. And so
what did people, hindsight is 20/20, but what did people think was going to come of the internet?
They just thought it was a novelty. It was just because so few people were on, and the only things that were really available were kind of geeky things. Right. And then AOL kicked in, and AOL brought the internet to the masses.
Gotcha.
And that really changed everything.
It's like Dr. J.
Exactly. Yeah. When that happened, boom, it blew it open. And we were ready. We were poised. And so a lot of other bands were trying to play catch up. Now, granted, it was boring, and it was just, text and a couple of pictures here and that kind of thing.
Oh, dude, do you remember the feeling you had when you put the Velcro Pygmies logo in for the first time?
Oh, yeah.
And it worked?
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, my gosh, yes. I'm sitting there, I'm writing this stuff. And my mother was a high school teacher. So Apple, it's pretty cool. Apple had a neat thing that for all teachers over the summer, they could check out an Apple computer. So teachers throughout Jefferson County could check one out and take it home. And they knew because IBM was kind of controlling that market.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that. That's
and they're like, if we can get these apples in these teachers' homes, kids are going to use them and they're going to adopt them. So I'm working on a Macintosh, and I'm writing this code on a Macintosh. And when it worked, I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Of course, there's nobody that can see it because nobody's online, And dial-up at that time was 28.8. So, I mean, if you wanted to load an image, you're there for a day.
Yeah.
It was insanity. But I really, really loved it and enjoyed it. And then the advancements took off and left me behind. And then things like Wix and a lot of the drag and drop options are out there now, so you don't have to know coding. So I stepped away from the coding thing. But yeah, we were one of the very first bands to actually have a website out there.
Wow.
We did get this. Okay. So think about streaming. This is a neat story. So you think you just, you get on your phone right there and you'll stream a video. We're in Panama City Beach, Florida, at a club called Club La Vila, which hopefully some of your viewers are, we don't say old, we say well-seasoned enough to remember going to Panama City and going to Club La Vila and Spinnaker and places like that. And the guy that ran the place was very forward-thinking, and so he wanted to do the very first simulcast on the internet, and we were the band that was going to be there. It was going to be for 7 minutes. 7 minutes. And they had no less than 15 satellite trucks.
Is simulcast just like a live?
Yeah, a live. So we were going to do 7 minutes of us performing that you could get online and watch.
15 trucks?
On your there was 15 satellite trucks. The cables that were coming to the building were that big. It cost $3 million.
What?
For 7 minutes, and it didn't even work.
And it spent $3 million?
It did not even work.
Oh God!
It was, and because that technology, everybody's brains were ahead of the technology. Like, oh, this is a great idea. We can do this delivery to people wirelessly and in their homes. And no,
now it feels like it's the opposite. Like technology is just moving faster than we.
Yes,
can
it is,
yeah.
and I feel that as an opportunity. Honestly, I've noticed that people now are enjoying the idea of something three-dimensional. A record. People are enjoying a poster.
Oh, yeah.
People are enjoying actually having things. There was a time whenever bands would send out promo packs and you would actually physically get something and you would open it up and there's pictures and all that kind of stuff. And then it all went digital because it's easy.
Autumn Poultry,
and
a well-seasoned group of gentlemen.
Yep.
They left me with exactly that, a promo pack of pictures from them performing, CDs. And
it's neat though,
yeah,
because it's real, it exists. And so I'm noticing that a lot of people are hungering for that again as we are inundated in a digital.
I bought vinyl recently. Yeah, I bought some vinyl from Mobile Record Store, and I look forward to going back. And yeah, it's cool.
It's fun to go in there. Yeah. You can go on iTunes and scroll through and do that stuff, but you go into a record store, there's a whole vibe.
Yeah,
it's like you're a part of something. You go in there and you flip through the records and you pick them up and you look at them.
Which year do you think it flipped? Of we're thinking ahead of technology. Technology is moving faster than us.
I would say that it has been within the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I think it's been within 10 years that has happened. That people have started, and I think a lot of that has to do. And I use this as jokes in our show all the time.
Something about like people burning their houses with hoverboards.
There are. Whenever we go out whenever we cover a song from the 1980s, I'm looking down and I'm seeing 12-year-olds singing it. Okay. So we're singing a Poison song and the kids are singing it. Okay. That's not just their parents, that's their grandparents' music. And so to see that kid singing that song lets me know that they're being raised in a household where that matters. And so that's the generation that is now going back and discovering things like real magazines. We just did a deal with a guy named Mark Weiss where we helped him promote his brand new magazine, which is a real magazine. And, we're all online and we're reading stuff online. Well, people like to hold something in their hands.
Right.
And so I think that generation is starting to discover what their parents were into, and that's exciting to them.
Music feeds the soul, but food feeds the future. Right here on the Gulf Coast, thousands of families don't know where their next meal is coming from. Feeding the Gulf Coast is changing that tune one meal at a time. Imagine this. For every $1, you can provide up to 5 meals. That's like turning a quiet solo into a full-blown jam session of hope for someone in need. Let's turn the volume up on kindness and down on hunger. Visit feedingthegulfcoast.org to donate today, because together we can make sure no one goes hungry on or off the stage. Feeding the Gulf Coast, because every community deserves an encore. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't let the dogs out. The City of Mobile Animal Shelter has many loving pets ready for a nice home. Whether you're looking for a dog like Snoop or a cat like Doja, the City of Mobile Animal Shelter is where you can find your next friendly companion. They're located at 855 Owen Street, and you can stop by anytime between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We all need a little bow wow in our lives. Call 251-208-2800 because the City of Mobile Animal Shelter has you covered. That's 251-208-2800. Roof. Yeah. Tell me about Reach and Teach.
So Reach and Teach, it really is a pretty spectacular situation, even if I was instrumental in helping put it together. What we did was myself and a teacher out of North Alabama, April Clark, we came up with this concept of, and actually the genesis was she was trying to raise money, wanted to do a fun fundraiser. And in high school, as I'm sure you're aware, and many of the viewers as well, it's selling fruit or, candy bars. And what that ultimately becomes is that the parents are selling the fruit to their friends. There's no learning aspect of it at all.
Yeah.
So April, she came and she said, we want to have a concert. We want to do something fun that will impact the kids that they actually get to be a part of. We're going to raise money. So she approached a bunch of bands. Everybody turned her down except for me. And I said, well, here's what I'll do. I will give you your show for free under these conditions. It's in the gym. It's lights out. Kids are on the floor, not bleachers. This is a real rock concert with staging, lighting, everything. Full blown, 100%. I want it to be just like a concert. She said, yes. Okay, let's do it. Well, at that point, the administration's freaking out. Oh my God, we can't bring Velcro Pygmies into this high school. It's going to be mayhem. It's going to be a riot. So we finally got all those hoops jumped through. And then I went to her and I said, look, I want the kids to be responsible for every aspect of this. I'm going to give them control of our website. I'm going to give them control of our social media. I want them to create the posters, the tickets, come up with a marketing plan, all this kind of stuff.
So honestly, that's a genius plan because now you're not getting paid directly, but indirectly you're having these social media savvy kids.
Okay, so you're getting ahead of yourself. So we put this thing. It's never been done before. First time this had ever been done before. So here we are. We're getting ready to go on stage. I got 500 high school kids in front of us, and we're about to play a bunch of 80s rock songs.
Let's go.
Okay?
Let's go, man.
So how's this going to go? And we've got every shape, size, color. It's just a freaking tapestry of human beings. Plus,
and she was a teacher?
Yeah. All 4 news media. We had cameras. All 4 of them were there. Newspaper was there. So if we were going to fail, it was going to fail big.
Which year?
And this would have been 8 years ago. So,
like 16?
Yeah. So we come out, turn the lights on. I have this little psychological thing where I make all the kids come into the room with the lights on. I don't have the lights off. I want them to come in with this anticipation. Well, this is going to suck. And then boom, we hit the lights and we hit the stage. So as soon as those lights go out, the thing goes up. It's an eruption. We come out and it was massive. I mean, over the top, crazy. So after it got done, I looked at April and I said,
"How do you go back to math class after
I said,
that?"
yeah. I look at April. I said, well, you realize that we've got something here. We've got to do this. And so over that summer, we developed a full curriculum. We developed the 501c3, and then we started to present it. And now we've done over 250 events in high schools all across the country.
Oh my God!
And it's not just a concert. Okay, the concert is the culmination of the educational. It's a 13-week educational curriculum that the kids learn how to put on a rock concert.
Oh, yeah.
Well, within that, there's mathematics, there's budgeting,
genius,
there's scheduling. There's graphic arts. So there's something for everybody.
Has there ever been a circumstance where kids messed over the Velcro Pygmies social media page?
That they did what?
Like messed over the page whenever
No.
you give them access?
And if they did, it wouldn't matter. I mean, it's sometimes, you learn.
I mean, they could post like some crazy stuff on there.
You learn from mistakes, and so we want the kids to have enough ability and freedom and flexibility to screw up a little bit. And we're there, and I've got a full team that works with the schools, and we've got a customer service staff. I mean, we've got a team of about 30 people now.
Dude, that is the coolest thing I've ever heard, I think.
Well, and what it's done is not only is it great for the kids, but it's great for artists. So now we've got 5 artists, and we've got a list this long of artists that want to be a part of it, because it is the greatest artist development program out there. Imagine, the typical
Absolutely.
The typical thing is, okay, we put a band together and we beg for gigs and we go play some bars and maybe somebody shows up, maybe they don't. Well, Reach and Teach can put you in front of 500 kids just like that. And those kids don't care that they don't know you.
Right.
They're just at a rock concert.
Right.
And so that's your opportunity to roll in there and really blow them away.
Dude, come on.
And so it's really, really cool. The state of Alabama is very supportive, hugely supportive. The Hangout's very supportive. Shrimp Fest is very supportive. So we've got a lot of great partners that have recognized the importance of this, and especially in Alabama, because Alabama is now trying to compete with Georgia from the standpoint of bringing in producers and movie theaters, and movie producers and stuff like that. And they're going to hopefully, they're going to pass a bill where there's going to be a lot of tax incentives for creating in Alabama. And so when that happens, they're going to need a workforce. Yeah. And we are helping train, and our motto is kids can't be what they don't know. So if you don't know that there is a career in lighting design, why would you couldn't pursue it if you didn't even know it existed? And so we're opening the kids' eyes to that. So Reach and Teach is not a music program, it's a music industry program. So
and
all aspects.
Would you agree that there are more careers than ever nowadays available?
Oh God, yeah. So for every Morgan Wallen, there's 1,000 people making him Morgan Wallen.
Right.
Everybody romanticizes about being the star, being the Taylor Swift. But when you are the star, your longevity is this much. If you're a tour manager, you can work for 30 years.
Right. I work for Taylor Swift. I work for Morgan Wallen.
I mean, it is, and these kids, whenever we have a camp every year where we invite 28 kids to come and everything Reach and Teach does is free. Yeah. We don't charge a penny. It's 100% free, always. And we bring 28 kids to Huntsville, Alabama, and they get to put on a big event, and they get to interact with industry. How do you
decide those 28 kids?
They send in reference letters. Got so enrollment will open in about a month, and the kids, they have to fill out an application, why they want to do it. They have to have 3 reference letters, and so we want them to put forth effort to prove they really want to do this. Yeah. This cup coming in will be our 3rd camp, and it's been spectacular.
How do you find enough time to do all this when it's free?
You just do.
Okay.
I mean, it's important work.
And then it absolutely is. But how do you, there's so many layers to what you're doing. You're like expanding across the country, taking in reference letters from students, setting up the events, sending out to the schools, offering this as an idea. Students have a million things that they're thinking about, and they just want to get on the Xbox or whatever, and they're getting hit with this information. Like, how do you find the time to do that? Sorry.
Well, we delegate. So we've got April and I have a great team that works for us. Yeah. We've got an executive director that runs the organization. April and I are the 2 founders, and so we're kind of like, for lack of a better. So whenever Steve Jobs stepped away from Apple and handed off the CEO position to somebody else, he was just kind of the visionary. So April and I are kind of that part of the thing, and then we've got people that execute the events, we've got people that plan the events, and then we've got a full team that actually goes there and sets it all up, tears it all down, and does all that kind of stuff. So we've got a lot of people that we have brought on to be mentors and executors of our vision. And so that helps.
Right. Psychologically speaking, how do you keep those people engaged and focused on the goal?
Well, all of them are industry professionals. So they're passionate about what they do. So for instance, Caleb is our LD. Well, Caleb is all he wants to do is run lights, loves lights. And so to be able to be in front of young people that might be interested in that and to watch some of them come up
Got it.
and be like, and a light bulb goes off like, this is a job?
Right.
Yeah. You could do that. You could make a living at this and you don't have to go to college to do it. You could do this right out of high school.
Right.
And so they see those moments and they recognize how important they are. So that's how the success is very motivating. It's very very intoxicating.
For sure. Yeah, it seems like a lot at play. How many years have y'all been doing this? How long?
This is our 8th year. And we are going, and this will definitely be our biggest year that we've ever had going into now. We've added a new program. So right now we have a program which is called Concert Tour. That's the 13-week event. We have a industry career fair, which is called Imagine X, where we come to your school and we have a booth that is based on film and television, a booth that is based on entertainment business, a booth that's based on audio, a booth that is based on lighting. And so the kids come in and they get to go to each of those booths and actually do stuff. They like to make the lights move, and they get to use a camera and a switcher. There's a podcast station where they sit there and they act like they're making a podcast. And then we have another program called Campus Tour where the kids make videos and we send them a list and they make videos, 5 videos, they submit them, and then we have a competition where they win a $1,000 scholarship and this happens internationally. We've had people in Canada and Spain do this kind of stuff. And then our newest version is what's called Jam Session. And this is super, super, super intense, where we are going to bring a massive production rig to your school, and then it's a 2-day event. So the first day is load in, set up, and training. The second day is execution. So we're going to invite 10 kids on the stage team, 10 kids on the audio team, 10 kids on the video team, and we'll have about 50 kids that are involved. And all day long, all they're going to do is be setting up for a concert.
It's just incredible, man. Like, there's so many things at play. I mean, how many schools are you doing at once? Do you just do one school per year?
We'll do, so right now simply because of the manpower, we can only do 1 school a day, but we're doing 4 schools a week.
4 schools a week, but 4 schools a week for that 13-week program, or which program?
No, well, so it depends. So they overlap sometimes. So the Imagine X program, which is a career fair, that's just 1-day commitment. So a lot of schools do that. So we can deploy our team and they can go out and they could do 4 schools, boom, 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 boom. They go in, set up, event, tear down, next school, set up, tear down. So the 13-week is more of a commitment, but it's the curriculum aspect. So a lot of business teachers, hospitality, they want the deeper involvement. And so those, but typically we try to schedule 3 events a week, whether that's an Imagine X or a concert or a jam session. Doesn't really matter because it's always the same team. So whatever they're doing, it doesn't matter.
How many people are on that team?
We've got 25 right now. So
and they just travel around the country.
Yep.
And how do they get paid?
They get paid?
Yeah.
Well, as a 501c3, we are always begging for money. Right. So it's all donations based. So we have corporate sponsors, we have individual sponsors, we have state sponsors. So there's educational money that we are entitled to apply for, not entitled to get, but entitled to apply for. And we've got a lot of great people that believe in what we do that write some really big checks to make this happen because they recognize the value.
Right. Do y'all have to put like a Wells Fargo sign on the stage after y'all's finished? Yeah.
If we do, we will.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Walmart has been one of our biggest supporters. And Walmart, when they donate...
You could throw a concert in Walmart, people wouldn't notice.
When they donate, they will not allow you to put their logo up. They do not want to be... They don't... It's not that they don't want to be associated with it, but they never want anybody to think that the reason why they're supporting is for... the brand.
That's a conundrum. I guess, no matter what the circumstance is, like my friend and I bought gift cards to the cafeteria workers, and it came out to a substantial amount, and we wanted not only to not be in such a financial deficit by supporting the caf workers, but to also encourage the rest of the student body to add to the donations.
Yep.
But you run into it being a bragging thing that, you're like, this is the amount, please help donate. And then it comes off as, oh, wow, you donated. It's like I don't know how you get around that. So
It's tough.
yeah.
We were the first time Walmart stepped in to help. We were like, "Oh yeah, we need your logo." Like, no, we don't want that. We don't want anybody to ever think we're helping you because we want you to promote us.
If even Walmart can't figure it out, then I guess there's just no cure for it. You just got to bite the bullet.
Got to go. Yeah, exactly.
In one way or the other. Hey fighters, listen up. Are you tired of feeling like your conditioning holds you back in competition? It's time to bridge the gap between theory and real performance. At Dexter's Fitness Center, we're launching a combat sports strength and conditioning program designed for boxers, kickboxers, MMA fighters, and combat athletes who want to get faster, stronger, and more flexible while building the endurance to go the distance. No more outdated workouts, no more burnout. This program is built to enhance your skill work, prevent injuries, and maximize your potential without wasting your time or overwhelming your body. Training starts August 12th at Dexter's Fitness Center, 1900 Government Street, Mobile, Alabama. Sessions are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. and Saturdays from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. If you're ready to step into every fight confident, prepared, and in peak condition, call 251-709-2654 or email contact@dextersfitnesscenter.com today. Let's build the fighter you're meant to be.
Is this broad labor? I'd like to talk to you about the possibility of moving a couple of things for me from my daughter's house to my garage.
That's super cool, man. Where do you see? You kind of mentioned the 4 different events that you had going with it. Where do you see it in the next few years?
Well, where we want to go is right now, because the organization, our headquarters is in Florence, Alabama. So all of the events are first come, first serve.
Right.
And because we've had such a big footprint in Alabama, the Alabama schools usually gobble up all of the events, because you got to understand that there's only 9 months in the school year. Within that, you've got spring break, fall break, Christmas break. You've got a lot of things to work around. Then you've got athletics to work around.
Yeah.
So you really whittle that down to a small percentage of possible dates that you can actually do. And so in that small pool, Alabama gobbles up a lot of them. We've done Oregon, Washington State, Idaho, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee. But we're going to start to focus now on states that touch Alabama. So that would be Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida, because it's easier for the team to get there. Our long-term plan is to basically duplicate what we've got here and then do it regionally. So we'll have this will be the Southwest region, then we'll do a Western region, and then a Northern region. And so have these satellite units that basically do what we're doing here. And so that way we can start to respond to the needs of the rest of the country, because we're the only entity of our type in the whole country.
Oh, yeah.
Only one. And
like you said, it's a great way for artists to blossom through your program as well.
We have a list of people that are just begging to be a part of what
And
we're
how do
doing.
you decide that?
Well, it's important because they have to, number one, believe in what we're doing. Because you got to be careful.
Right.
Because you get somebody on a high school stage that, gets excited and drops the F-bomb, we're out of business. So you got to have people that you can count on that are professional enough to deliver a show that is impactful, because kids will get bored real easy. I mean, we've had a couple of artists that we had to let go because they could not hold the attention of the kids. Kids are like, so you got to hold their attention. And so we go through a rigorous process. And then once we decide somebody might be right, then they're invited to come and perform at a Reach and Teach event with us. Yeah. So we'll play, and then I'll bring them up in the middle and let them perform, and we see how it happens. We also, during our shows at the Reach and Teach, we invite students to perform.
Oh, that's cool.
So we've had horn players, guitar players, bass players, singers. We've never had a keyboard player, which is interesting. Yeah. We've had a few full bands that have played with us. So it's been really, really neat and really rewarding. It's very, very inspirational.
How do you think, because a keyboard is kind of a more low key, right? I mean, you can go crazy on a keyboard, but it's not a rock and roll instrument.
Right.
So how do you think that would?
It would work. And one of the things we love is whenever we have our events, so we have a setup, and then at the end of setup is when we have sound check, and that's when we do rehearsal. Right. So we'll bring the kids out, and they're nervous as can be. Oh my God, I'm going to be on stage in front of my whole school, and and a lot of these kids are nerdy kids or whatever, and so we get them up there on stage, and we really work with them to get them to come out of their shell and to blossom.
And on a psychological level, how does one break that?
Well, it takes a minute because the very first run through, they're terrified because they're like, oh my God, I'm going to screw up. And so we have to go through 2 or 3 runs before they realize, hey, these guys don't care. Because they're so worried they're going to disappoint us. Yeah. Oh my God, these guys have been playing forever, and I'm going to get up here, I'm going to stink the place up. And then they realize, wait a minute, these guys are on my team. Yeah. They want me to do good. Yeah. And so then we really break them down. And then depending on whether it's a bass player or vocalist or guitar player or drummer, then our players will work with them and say, hey, try this. Let's do this. And then I'll work with them on their stage presence. And okay, here's how we're going to do this. We're going to march around on stage, and we're going to put our hands up, and we're going to clap, and we're going to high five and that sort of thing. And then they really, really blossom.
Oh, man,
and we've just watched kids' lives change in 3 minutes on stage. It's crazy.
No, seriously. I mean, seriously, you're like, I was going to make a church reference, but it might come off as blasphemous. But you're like revitalizing.
Yes.
As somebody, in a sense, I mean, you could be altering.
Yep. That's our goal.
The way this kid's life goes.
That is our goal. I want those kids to come on stage, and invariably they always have their parents will always be there to watch them play. And then I will always take the parents aside and say, look, I want you to understand something. What's about to happen to your kid is going to change his life or her life. Okay? And I want you to understand that what you're about to witness is their passion.
And then he's going to get a tattoo.
So, and then it'll be tattooed, and then it'll be women, and it's ridiculous.
And then he's out of your ass.
Then he's done. Yeah. But I encourage those parents to really support that.
Right.
Don't hamper that, because that's what this person's passion is all about, and you've got to be behind that. And so we watch that happen over and over again, and it's spectacular to watch a kid discover themselves. Like they just like, oh my God. We had a kid, his name is Eli, and Eli was the student performer that was performing with us at Fayetteville, Alabama. So he's there. The kid showed up to set up. I was blown away. His grandparents were there, but everybody was there like during setup. And so he got up and played, and he was the first student performer that we've ever brought back for a second time during the night. So I brought him back up, and then we invited him to actually come perform with us at the Hangout a couple of times. So he came down there, and we plugged him into another band. And so literally his parents are so aware that this is what he wants to do that his last year of school, he's a senior right now, his last year of school, he's doing correspondence so that he can pursue his music career.
Correspondence.
like online. So he literally only had like one course that he had to complete to graduate. I think it was English or something. And so the school is small enough that they recognize that this is what Eli wants to do.
Let me get Eli on the podcast.
And I would love to. Yeah. He's a great kid. You would love him. Spectacular. Just a fantastic human being.
Do you remember at what point you the switch hit you growing up?
I was, my father's a Southern Baptist preacher. So I was raised kind of in a church that was, we were very musical. I mean, my dad, before he was a preacher, he cut his first record when he was 16. So my dad was a rock star at 16.
And that's saying something for back then, right?
And so, yeah. And so I was raised kind of in a performance, where a lot of kids are raised in like athletic families. Right. I was kind of raised more in a performance family. Yeah. And so it was kind of something that I wasn't pushed to do, but it was very easy for me. I was the first drummer in this band, and I was god awful. I'm not a much better singer, but I was a god awful drummer. And so that's where I started, and I knew that was where I was the most believable. Mm. You know, you've got to do something that you're believable at.
I love that point. That's a great point.
And some people just aren't believable in their roles, and they're unhappy in their lives. But I was believable as an entertainer.
Right.
And so I knew that the whole time, but I never I was never brave enough to give it a shot. So I did the right thing. Went to college. Okay. Went to the theater arts department. Not for me. Then I went to the communications department. Not for me. And actually, when I was in the communications department, I was interning at a radio station. And the program director, he asked me, he said, "Why are you going to college?" I said, "Well, that's what you're supposed to do." He's like, "Well, what do you want to do?" I said, "Well, I'd like to be on air. I'd like to be a DJ." He's like, "Well, let me give you here's an example. You could go to school for 4 years, come to work for me, get coffee for everybody else in here for 2 years, and then maybe be on the air. Or you could come to work for me now, work for 2 years, and be on the air." So based on what your goal is of being on the air, which is the better path?
Well,
and I was like,
you only get college once, though.
Like, okay. And so that really, that made me examine what my ultimate goals were. Right. And if college, and if you're going to be a heart surgeon, please go to college. But if there are things that you want to do that don't necessarily involve that college degree, then maybe consider other options. You know, consider experience over reading it out of a book.
Right. You just have to be firm in your belief that that's what you want to do before you break away from college.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because you only get college once, and college is a great chance to experience.
Of course.
Learn what you want to do. But I do really appreciate talking to a entrepreneurial mind. Uh-huh. And just the idea that you're so firm in your belief, you're transparent. You know, you talk at a loud volume because you're not scared that what you're saying is inaccurate. You know,
right.
That's the perception I get, and I really appreciate that. Yeah, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, have you always been like that, or how did you develop that?
Yeah, I actually, and I'm not saying this to pat myself on the back, but just to let people know what is capable. We were the first rock band to ever get an SBA loan. So I actually got a small business administration loan, and this has been, we're talking, 28 years ago. And I was actually written up in Entrepreneur Magazine because of my approach to the music business, which was more entrepreneurial and less artistic, where most artists, it's all about the art, all about the art, all about the art, but it's not called music, it's called music business.
Right.
And so I approached what we do more from a business point of view, and how do we take our product and deliver that to the end consumer, right, and make them pay a premium for the product that we are delivering? What are the aspects of that? And it's got to be more than just, we have great songs, And so, as you said, my approach has always been entrepreneurial. Now, with that said, I've always surrounded myself with extremely competent musicians that can help create this product that we call the Velcro Pygmies, which is more than just music. It's music, it's production, it's outlandish, energetic performances. Yeah. It's those types of things. And so that is all a part of our market research of what we do. So people sometimes look at us, and even though our shows appear to be completely chaotic and spontaneous, that spontaneity and chaoticness, if that's even a word, is planned. It's a part of the formula. It's a part of what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, we've never used a set list ever because you never know what the audience is going to want. So you just come out there and wing it. You know, we've got this list of songs and we just play whatever they need.
Well, I mean, surely you decide your first song, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so how do you kind of...
Well, the first song is Always Nothing But a Good Time by Poison because we feel like that song sets the mood for the show they're about to receive.
Is that a tough song to play?
Nah.
Yeah. It's a good...
So it's high energy. It comes out as explosive. Most people know the chorus, so we can get the sing-along happening. So literally within the first 3 minutes of the show, we've captured the audience, we've set the tone for what the show's going to be, and we've got the enthusiasm at the level that it needs to be.
It feels like a good PowerPoint presentation.
And then from then on, you decide. Because you never know who's going to be there. I mean, you got to look at the age of the audience. What kind of songs do they want? And, you know, is everybody in here wearing Alabama jerseys? Okay, Sweet Home Alabama's coming up. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, if we're in Baton Rouge, you know, Call in Baton Rouge is going to obviously be in the set, that kind of a thing. So you've got to be very aware of what's going on in the audience so that you can dynamically change what you are going to deliver. A lot of bands don't do that. A lot of bands, they've got this list and we're going to do this song, this song, this song. And if they don't work, they don't know what to do. They're like, and you lose the crowd that way. Well, if we do something that's not working, we can change it just like that and bring everybody back in. So,
yeah, I guess I never thought of it that Call in Baton Rouge is like Louisiana Sweet Home Alabama.
It is. Yeah. Yes. When we're playing LSU, they want to hear Call in Baton Rouge for sure.
And speaking of playing at colleges and playing for fraternities, you said you weren't a fraternity goer yourself, and it's ironic that now you're gigging 95% of the time at fraternities. Just tell me about that.
Well, so I'm going to go back in time again. There was a time, and this is one of the ways that the music business has really changed, and I hate this, is that literally, and I'm speaking mainly SEC. So in the SEC, every home game, every fraternity would have a band on Friday and Saturday night. So on Friday night, they would have like an up-and-coming band, and then on Saturday, they would have like a headliner. And I'm not talking like Morgan Wallen headliner, but like Velcro Pygmies headliner. And so you go to a campus like University of Tennessee, well, there's 40 fraternities all right there, walking distance from one another. Okay, you've got 40 fraternities, home game, need 2 bands a night. That's 80 bands on that one campus. 80 bands.
Is it really? No, it's not 40 fraternities.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Go to Auburn. Same thing. All of these universities have all of these fraternities. Okay?
Yeah.
And so back in the day, every fraternity would have to have 2 bands a home game.
Right.
What that did was it created an opportunity for all of these bands. Okay. And
damn,
so you wind up
21.
Yeah.
21 fraternities at Tennessee.
So you wind up with with a seller's market.
They've got 50 active chapters at Tennessee. Sorry.
So my point is that the fraternity market was the best place for a new band to break in. Because they had to have them. They needed bands. Because if you don't have a band at your fraternity, you don't have girls at your fraternity. And that's what, and ultimately, this can all be condensed down to girls. It's all girls.
Right.
Okay.
Whipped.
So here we are. So we're going out into these markets, and we're from Louisville, Kentucky. And Louisville, Kentucky was a home of big production. All the bands there had this big production and big hair and spandex and all that kind of stuff. Well, the Southern bands didn't have that. So we're rolling into University of Tennessee with what this kids thought was Van Halen. You know, while you've got the band next door's got 2 floodlights, and we're up there with 500 lights and big PA and all that kind of stuff. So everybody's like, oh my God. Right. So we immediately created this reputation for being larger than life, the biggest thing on the market. Right. And so the fraternity market really grew rapidly for us. And then you take that and then move that into the club. So you've played all 40 fraternities. So they love you. Then all of a sudden you play at the library on the Strip. Well, now you've got all 40 other fraternities coming there buying tickets to get in.
The block party pictures look crazy.
Yeah.
On the Instagram.
So the fraternity thing has been so great to us. Right. And moving forward, our longevity, what's really neat is we're running into a thing now where a lot of the kids that were in those fraternities are now presidents of their companies. And so now when they have Christmas parties, they hire us because we've got that nostalgia thing built in there. So, if you got a guy that was the president of
like
Sigma Chi is now the president of, XYZ trucking company,
right.
And they bring us in and we pay their Christmas party.
That's funny, man. Yeah, it's nostalgia squared.
Yeah, exactly, without a doubt. But what is neat is that our relevancy in the fraternities has not waned at all. We're still just as relevant as we ever were. So we play just as many fraternities now as we always have. So, and it's because we deliver the show that that they want.
Timeless.
Yeah.
It'll always be relevant because
we have been consistent. We have never changed what we are.
It's a great business plan.
Well, I mean, you work for McDonald's, and there's so many people. Consistency matters. Yeah. And that's what we've always been. I tell people, they say, when are you going to stop doing this? I say, well, whenever we're not relevant anymore, or we can't do this brand the justice of what we created, which is the larger than life superhero rock vibe. And when we can't do that, we won't do it anymore.
Yeah, you're a rock star. I mean, a rock star. Sorry. How do you maintain that energy of larger than life? Just being like the amount of energy that you display on stage, like how do you stay in shape for that? How do you know what to do on, like you mentioned, being a good performer? Elaborate on that, please.
Well, you can learn how to be a good entertainer, but there has to be certain personality traits that you possess to be able to learn that. There are some people that just won't be. They don't have it in them. They just don't. They, they're good boxers and good track stars and good basketball players that have a certain awareness of the game and their surroundings that other people just don't have. And the same goes true with an entertainer from the standpoint of reading a crowd and that sort of thing. As far as keeping the energy level high, it's all about lifestyle. I mean, really. And, there's the cliche of drugs and booze and all that kind of stuff. And we literally, I'm going to make an admission here that is going to destroy everybody's perception of me. But I've never tasted alcohol in my whole life.
Oh, wow. I thought you were going to say you did.
I've never tasted it. I've never, the hardest drug I've ever done is Excedrin. I mean, literally. And I'm not saying that to be preachy, but I'm saying that whenever our shows are 3+ hours, we don't take a break. We get on stage and we play for 3+ hours. And it's 110 miles an hour the whole time. And you cannot maintain that if you are destroying your body. Right. And whenever people join our band, which this lineup is the longest lineup we've ever had.
Drug test.
When people, it's like, oh my God, how do y'all do this? And then finally they start to build up the stamina to where all of us now have that stamina where we can run for 3+ hours.
I'm like, what do you do to stay in shape like that?
What we do on stage. So when you perform 3 to 4 days a week, that keeps you in shape. Yeah. It really does. And our lifestyle has a natural ability to reduce caloric intake because we just don't necessarily have time to eat. Yeah. Honestly. I mean, I haven't right now, I have not eaten in 36 hours.
Stop it.
Anything. Nothing. Haven't eaten. Nothing at all.
Stop it, dude. You have so much energy right now.
Nothing at all. And that is not unique for me. I mean, I do that all the time because I just go, kind of forget to eat. And then at some point, now when I do eat, I mean, I chow down. I mean, it's steak, mashed potatoes. I mean, the full deal. I mean, I eat Doritos and King Dongs and all that garbage too. But yeah, it's been 36 hours since I've had that.
That is insane, man. Nah, you're an alien for that. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I just don't get hungry. It's weird.
But forget to eat. It's a human function.
I know. I mean, there'll be times when I'll be like, I haven't had anything to eat today at all.
What are you doing with your day then that you
Well, so today I got up. So we were in Biloxi last night. Got up, got ready to come here to see your beautiful face. Got in the car, drove here, and I was like, well, so I came in first just to make sure I knew where the place was. I was a little bit early, and then I left, and I was like, well, I don't really have time to get anything to eat, so
I'm just gonna act like I'm not hungry.
I'm just gonna come back, and so I just basically sat out there and then waited for you. So and then when I leave here, I'll drive home, which is outside of Atlanta. And
So
then
you're not gonna stop. You got to stop.
no, I won't. I'll eat when I get home.
5 hours.
Yeah, I won't eat. No, I won't.
Dude, what?
Yeah.
Dude, I eat so much, man. I eat a dinner for breakfast and like so much 3 times a day.
Yeah. Well, our guitar player, he likes to eat. Of course, Chase is all buff and big and everything. But whenever he travels with me, it just makes him miserable because I don't eat.
We're not stopping.
He's like he always, because we all live in different places, and so we kind of we don't necessarily carpool. We all just kind of converge. And so whenever he travels with our drummer Chris, he loves that because Chris will always stop to eat. I know
as a drummer would.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, man, that's remarkable. That is remarkable. I mean, mentally, I think it would mess me up the most.
Not eating.
But you've got so much energy.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude.
It will. There are times, sometimes at the end of the night, it'll hit me and I'll be like, man, I am really running on empty right now. And I think, I haven't had anything to eat in freaking 36 hours. Of course I'm running on empty.
Amazing, man. So you've got 7 original projects.
Yep.
And do you plan on releasing more?
Yeah, we do. We've got, we were approached. There's the guy that wrote all the Britney Spears stuff, wrote all of Backstreet Boys. I mean, he's literally the most prolific songwriter on earth. His name is Max Martin. So Max Martin was in a band. He's out of Sweden. He was in a band called It's Alive. And they put out a demo song called Metalopolis. Well, our producer, who is in Kennesaw, Georgia, he found this song, and it was on a promo, so it was never released. And he found this promo. He's like, man, I really think that we could reimagine this song.
Right.
So we went in the studio and recut this Max Martin song, and have reached out to the Max Martin people to tell them, hey, we're doing your song. And in hopes that, they might be interested, kind of a thing. And we got a little bit of a lukewarm response, like, send it to us when it's done. But we've added a bunch of horns to it. We've added a rap section to it where, if all goes well, Tone Loc is going to be involved in it. So we're going to have a name rapper on that. So yeah, we're in the process of cutting some new stuff. But it's hard whenever you're on the road 4 days a week. Yeah. During COVID, we were able to actually get some time to do some recording, but it's been a while since we've been able to get back in the studio. But yes, we have plans to release lots more music.
Yeah, that's really cool. Is it tough was it tough to find that guy, Max Martin?
No, it's really weird. I mean, these people, if you just dig enough, and we had our attorney kind of dig in and found him through other bandmates. So we knew who the band was. Right. And so we found the other bandmates were easier to find on social media. And then we reached out to their people, who reached out to their people. And then we eventually got to the guy that co-wrote the song with Max, his guitar player, and said, hey, this is what we want. We would love you guys to be involved in this in some ways. Like, when it's done, send it to me. I'll get it to Max. We'll make a decision. And we may never hear it. But regardless, it's a really cool song. So it's going to be a fun song when we put it out.
Yeah, it sounds fun. Somehow rock and roll mixed with a little rap. It sounds really cool. Let's see. Yeah. The Blow Pops, Glitter, and Rub the Beaver.
So we, years and years ago, we used to play in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And this was back in the days when bands would go in and sort of do mini residencies. So you would play a club 5 days. So you would be there, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, everywhere you would go. Now it's basically one night, unless you're like the hangout or something like that. You might do 2 nights. So we would go into this place called Yesterday's in Chattanooga. Well, nobody comes out on Tuesday and Wednesday. It's just miserable nights. But the upside to shows like that, and I tell young musicians this all the time, you never, ever learn anything from a good gig. You only learn from bad gigs. Bad gigs are good gigs are fun and they lift you up, but bad gigs are where you learn how to be an entertainer. So McKee, which is Little Debbie, is headquartered in Chattanooga. Well, there was a group of them that had their day off was Wednesday.
Right.
So they would all come out on Tuesday night, and they would always bring us a food product. Something, I'd show up and on stage there'd be something. And I would have to incorporate that into the show somehow, whether it was some type of a little moon pie or whatever. I would have to figure a way to incorporate. Well, one night they brought blow pops. I'm like, okay. So I started incorporating blow pops and passing them out to the crowd. Well, then we were in Troy University, and we were playing a fraternity party. Yeah. And we had been passing out blow pops for a while. And this girl was in front of the stage, and she was just losing her mind. And I'm like, oh, my God, what do you want? And very innocently. And she's like, I want you to stick it in my mouth. And I was like, oh, my God. And so now that's turned into this massive thing. So we travel. I mean, we pass out thousands of blow pops every week. And everybody knows what the phrase is. What do you want me to do? I want you to stick it in my mouth. And it's just, it doesn't matter whether we've got, teenagers up to great grandmas that are doing this sort of thing. And then we were on an island in Put-in-Bay, Ohio, which that's an interesting story where Bret Michaels actually opened for us. Bret Michaels from Poison and Joan Jett and Tom Look.
No, that's crazy.
So yeah, crazy. So we're up there. Well, this is Little Bitty Island and in the middle of Lake Erie.
What the hell?
The only thing to do up there is drink. So it's like 2 miles by 2 miles and it's just bars. Well, it's free to get into all the bars because there's so much competition. So Chase, our guitar player, is like, man, we need to figure out a way that we can, like, when people leave our show and go to another band show, that band will know that these people had been to see us. So we're thinking about it.
Say that one more time.
So people bar hop on this island because it's free to get in. So it's like if you pay a cover charge, a lot of times you feel obligated to step.
You got it.
So if you go to a bar like, well, you know what? We're going to go see this other band too. Well, if someone had come to see us and then jumped and oversaw, the Jaybirds over here, we would want the Jaybirds to be able to look at that person and be like, they've already seen the Velcro Pygmies. You see what I'm saying?
You gotta have, yeah.
So we came up with the glitter.
Glitter.
And so what we did was we started glittering the crowd.
Genius.
And so when people walk into another bar, they're covered in glitter.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, you've seen the Pygmies.
Yeah.
And now, and it started quite innocently. Well, now it's a thing. Literally last night, we were in Biloxi at the Sanctuary. And it's such a nice place. And a lot of clubs because of us, have adopted a no glitter policy because it's so hard to clean up. And so literally now we'll go in and they won't let us do it. And if it's a really pretty place, I fully understand. I don't force it on anybody. But the girls were getting so angry that they weren't getting glittered because they want it now. They come out, they want their blow pops, and they want their glitter. Because if you don't get that, we were at a show once and these 4 guys came up and I didn't do glitter because of the space. The guy's like, man, this is going to sound weird. Can you put glitter on us?
Right.
I'm like, what?
Right.
And he said, because this is a guy's night out and we've told our wives that we're going to go see the Velcro Pygmies. And if we don't come home with glitter on us,
right,
they'll think we went to a strip bar.
Right.
Whereas it used to be, if you showed up with glitter, you did go to the strip bar. So now they got to come home with glitter to prove they went and saw Velcro Pygmies.
Right.
Is that ridiculous? So, and then the beaver thing, I got really excited about Buc-ee's. And Buc-ee's is out of South Texas. And for the longest time, they were only in Texas. They didn't have them anywhere else. And so when we would play Texas, we would always go visit Buc-ee's and buy shirts and all that kind of stuff and hats. And I bought a Buc-ee's belt buckle and started wearing it as kind of a signature, thinking, maybe Buc-ee's will see this and give us a sponsorship. Well, they stopped making the belt buckles, stopped making them. And so I wound up going up to a manager once. I said, I need belt buckles. He goes to the back, finds the 5 last Buc-ee's belt buckles in the whole chain and gives them to me.
Wait, how?
He was like, we don't even sell them anymore. They're just back here collecting dust. Right. They're not even an item. So we were out playing one night and a girl in the front row, she's just rubbing the belt buckle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing?
As it was on your waist?
Yeah, just, belt buckle right there. Yeah. And anybody that's seen me in the belt buckle. And she's like, I'm rubbing your beaver. I'm like, what?
Dude.
And I'm like, boom, click.
Dude.
And so now we've incorporated that into the show as kind of like, how people rub the Buddha belly for luck?
Right.
Well, we tell everybody, rub the beaver for luck. And so it don't matter. I mean, guys, girls, don't matter. People come in and it's just a thing. They just come up, rub the beaver for luck. It's like a thing they do. And so we've added these kind of really neat signature traditions to the fan base, which we call the Pig Nation. And because we want everybody to feel like that they're a part of something, that they're not an observer, they're a participant. There's a difference. Sometimes when you go to something, you observe it. I don't want people to observe something. I want them to participate in something where they feel like they're a part of what's going on. And that's getting the blow pops and getting the glitter and rubbing the beaver. And now we're passing out Fireball to the crowd. We had Theo Vaughn on stage, for crying out loud, the other day, passing out freaking Fireball at the show. So just insanity.
Oh, no way, man.
Yeah, we're up in Wisconsin, and Theo Vaughn's at the show. And so Theo doesn't drink. So and so I get him on stage. I'm like, well, can you handle that? So there's photos on our Instagram of Theo Vaughn pouring Fireball in everybody's mouths.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. So that's our new thing, the Fireballs. And obviously we don't do that at the high schools, and we don't do blow pops at the high schools.
That's what I was going to say, is there's like...
Totally different. So we have, the band has a Walt Disney World G-rated show. Yeah. We have a PG-13 show that we might do at a private party. And then we've got the bar show. And so you can get whatever you want. And people are like, how do you do that? I'm like, well, I've been doing it for 30 years. I know what I'm doing.
How old are you, brother? How old are you, if you don't mind?
I'm not going to tell you my age, but I'm going to say this. Yeah. I am old enough that and this will be way beyond your time, but probably not some of yours. I'm old enough that I remember when you used to have to pay for long distance phone calls. I'm old enough to remember whenever you got charged rewind fees at Blockbuster Video. So I've been around. I graduated in 1980.
Well, so I'm sorry to cut you off. It's just I don't want the video to come out.
I understand. I'm glad being here, man.
Man, I really appreciate you. And yeah, you're just in great shape. You're unlike anybody I've met for just the energy that you've got at your age. So I really appreciate you.
Well, I promise you this, Quincy. I promise you this. We're gonna rally the Pig Nation, and we're gonna get the views on this show higher than any other one. You hear me, Pig Nation? We're gonna put this up, make this happen, make it the biggest one yet.
We'll see you guys in the next wave.
Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast.